Gemini, how are you today? Welcome to Spirit in You. My name is Debbie and this is your December reading. So Gemini, what I've done, and I'll pull down the camera in a moment and show you, is I've put out some cards. I've put together a timeline for the month of December. So what we'll do is we'll go through the cards, look at how the month starts, how it meanders through and how it ends, and we'll deliver the messages that we've got within the cards. I'm using the Wild Unknown deck because the artistry is beautiful and I love it. Just before we get underway with the reading, I'd like to explain that I'm a medium and that today, although I've pulled these cards for you and I will be getting specific messages for some people, it isn't possible for me to deliver the precise messages for everybody. It just isn't the way life works, and how could I? There's too many of you. So to get a one-to-one reading with me, and if you enjoy this video, then you would visit Spirit in You, go to the website, click on the link, and then have a reading with me, where the energies will be that much stronger because I'll be working with you. Okay, but having said that, we're still going to have a lovely reading today because I have got messages. And talking about messages, I was getting a lovely... So before I turned on the camera then, I was meditating, which is quite normal. You concentrate on, before you have a reading, whether it's in this crystal room here, someone's come to see me, or whether I'm doing it visually now with you, virtually rather, you always meditate. And I do love meditation. It's just a great way of centering you, and just more than anything, it's just a lovely way to relax. It's part of what I do every day now. I can't imagine life without it. It just makes me feel great. I don't find it a struggle like I used to do in the early days. I used to be, oh no, how am I going to relax? I've got this to do, I've got that to do, I've got this to do. Now it's just, how can I start my day without it? So anyway, I was meditating on you and I just had this sense of, I thought I'd have to show them this lovely crystal to start with. So there's the shiny aspect of it, which is labradorite, if I've said that right, or even spectralite as it's known. And it's got this lovely glassy side here, and then the lovely sort of rock side there. Can you see the different colours there? And this was just literally because I was drawn to getting it for you. And I look at the way the light moves around that. I get that sense of a gust of air, of wind, of light, of movement, of challenging myself. And it's particularly for you, Gemini. It just feels right for you. It feels like, and there's two sides to it, which is, you know, you're good at doing two things at once, aren't you? Having two jobs, two of everything, and juggling. And I mean, when I think of you particularly, I think of, oh gosh, he or she can do that as well as that. Gosh, she could do so many things she can do, which is the reason why I think I'm so drawn to this crystal. Wouldn't be typically for you, but it definitely is typically for this reading. So just look at it, it's just beautiful. And I love that the shiny exterior there gives me a real sense of intelligence, a real sense of communication. It's like everything is crystal clear when I speak. When I deliver a message, I am crystal clear, and I get to the point. I'm not unkind with my delivery of a message or a conversation to people, but I have a sense of I know where I'm coming from, and there's a depth to your abilities, isn't there? There's a lot you can do. There's a lot underneath that surface. Very clever and very beautiful. So that, Gemini, my lovely Geminis, is for you. Okay, so I'll pop that down. We'll look at it again because it's so beautiful. And I've got a really big one over there. If I get my finger just right, there it is, and it is just gorgeous, and it is just for you for today. You may even have some, and if you don't, I recommend you do because it feels right for you. So this timeline is, as I say now, energy is quite fluid, as you probably know. So when I'm doing a timeline, it's a reference really. So I'm getting messages, I look at the cards, and then I'm pulling out the message that I get, and I sort of do this because it does literally sort of comes out and pops out to me and gives me the experience and the feeling that I want to deliver to you. So as I say, one-to-one readings much stronger, but this still will be beautiful because there's a lot of you this will resonate with. But please bear in mind, it can't be all of you, but there'll be stuff here And if nothing else, it's just a very, very enjoyable reading. It feels exciting to me. You feel exciting to me. I'm getting a sense of you really wanting to do something during the course of December. You know, I know it's the holiday month and we've got Christmas coming, and what a great time to communicate. And I've got you, you know, laying the table and really wanting people to come round because there's something you know you want to say, you want to chat to people, want to communicate. You're very sociable. You're very good in a group setting, and I've got some of you, particularly now as this message comes through, I've got some of you running groups. You know, even I know even a circle, for instance, a spiritual circle, but running a group, a play group, a group, communities. I've got that feeling with you specifically for some of you, and this feels very much on quite a strong feminine feel to this. A lot of ladies, I'm getting a sense of a lot of ladies, so that's specific for you, but you're very good at that anyway. You know how to talk. So I'm going to put the camera down now and show you these beautiful cards, and we'll go through the reading together. So just bear with me as I do that, and I just move that out of the way. I'm hoping that that's in view. Yes, it should be. Oh, I've got some rose quartz here. I always have this rose quartz. It's just something I have with me all the time. Okay, so here we are. Here are the cards. I'm starting this way. So look at the beginning of the month. Look how you enter into December. Let's just get that into focus for you. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is just beautiful. I mean, as it stands and what it means as a card is something wonderful is coming. Something that is going to really excite you, that's going to ignite you, that's going to light you up, that's going to fill you with desire, fill you with energy. You've got a fair bit of energy anyway. You're very good at juggling things. You're very good at keeping things moving when you need to. And you're particularly good at doing two things at once, which is great. And I've got you doing three things at once, by the way. You know, having three things on the go, whatever they might be. But you'll do it. You're very good at that. A lot of energy here, a lot of warmth here. This is your desires. So this is something coming to you that's very... what's the word that I need to find that's very, there's got a lot of growth in it. It's something that you've been thinking about, something that you've started, or something that you want to start. And the Ace of Wands would say, you go for it. We are behind you 100%. You have made this happen through your own hard work. And what the Ace of Wands is giving you is that leg up. It's saying to you, we can do this. There are things that are going to happen, and they're passionate, and they're to do with your goals and your desires and your dreams. Now, this could very strongly be to do with work. It could easily be that you know, some project, something that you're working on, something that's really important to you, you're going to be really excited about. But I'm getting a sense of love around it as well. It just keeps coming back to me, and the card's going sideways towards the rose quartz. So when that happens and I get that pull, I know that there's love involved here. So that's what I'm being given, so I'm giving it to you. And it feels really fruitful, it feels really desirable, and it feels beautiful. And the number 3 is very strong. So I think you should start your month with absolute optimism. Absolute expectance as well. So I desire, so it shall be. What a great way to start the month. Okay, then the next card that we've got here is the 6 of, and I think if I look at that card now, that's the 6 of Swords. Okay, so when I'm looking at this card now, what I'm feeling for you here is this is about what goes on in your day-to-day life. This is your thought process in what goes on a day-to-day basis. This is how you think about things. This is where you see your life going. This is the people that you spend time with. This is your day-to-day routine, your life. This is people coming into your life as well that will give you a certain amount of clarity. This is you also thinking about what is my next best move in terms of my work and in terms of my relationship. And this is also you realizing as you work this out, and you do have I mean, you're very good. I've got a strong sense of you, a lot of you being particularly good at maths, particularly good with figures, sums, working things out. And I've got that literally as well. So it's almost like I've got my calculator out. I'm bookkeeping. It's that kind of thing. So that is definitely relevant for some of you. You're very good at that. You're very good at you know, when I said about juggling things, you're good at balancing things as well. So I've got a real sense of balance here, balancing the books, trial balance either. There's definitely an accountancy aspect to this. And I get this lovely sense of that once you've worked out your thought processes on what it is that you need to do moving forward, you're going to realise that there's always a new beginning, and there's always a tomorrow, and there's always a beautiful horizon to look forward to. It is what we make it in life, and you will make it so. Your ability to communicate is very strong. So anything that comes your way that you feel is a challenge, you will be able to communicate with that. You'll be able to work it out, whether it's a business or whether it's a relationship. I've got you really having enough in your arsenal. I don't know why I want to use that word, but you have enough inside of you to work this out and to deal with anything that comes your way, because your communication is so strong. Also, going back to when I was meditating on you, this gust of wind, I feel that your communication is actually really strong this month. I think you're going to communicate very, very well with what you want out of life, what you expect out of life, what you're going to give, because you will give as well as receive, and what you expect back. So that's really lovely. So approximately going into the second week, because as I mentioned, things are quite fluid, so we're just doing a timeline over all of the month. You've got here the Mother of Swords, which is the actual Queen, and this is you, by the way. This is 100% you, male or female, because it's all gender neutral, but this is definitely you, and this is you being really clued up. This is you paying attention to the detail at work, in a business relationship, or in an actual relationship romantically. You've got your eye on the prize, you've got your eye on the detail, and you've got attention to detail. And I've got a real sense of, I've got a nose for this, I've got a keen eye and I've got a nose for it. So whatever presents itself, I feel really quite, I wouldn't say regal, but I would say I feel really authoritative, in the nicest possible way. I could easily be the boss here of a situation. I could be running the company. I could be running my own project. I'm definitely the master of my own destiny and decisions, and I'm definitely the thinker of my thoughts here. And I can and I will balance the books, balance my thoughts, and balance my feelings. So I've got you understanding that. And I've got a real sense of calmness with this card as well, a sense of things just being level pegging, level-headed, and level in their the way they appear to you, and how you deliver your level of consciousness to whoever you're with and whatever situation you're in. So there's a real sense of wiseness here, of an old head on young shoulders even. So if you're quite young, I feel you coping really well. And if you've reached maturity, it will feel like you've always known what you've known, because you actually have. I get a real spiritual sense with this card because of the owl, and because of who you are, Gemini, as a person, and your ability to delve into things and to see both sides, and to do 2, 3, 4 things, and to juggle those balls really well. But you juggle them with precision, and that's really important. And then as we're coming sort of towards the end of the second week here, we've got the Hierophant here, which is, for me, when I see this card for you now, I'm getting a sense of creativity. I'm getting the sense of you being a very creative person, creative in sports, creative in the art that you might put, whether it's highbrow art or whatever it is that's artistic. There's a form of artisticness here. There's also a form of real caring for children that I'm getting specifically for some of you. And I'm also getting, when I look at the key, and it's very ornate, that tells me about your ability to unlock doors, to use the key to enter into the room that you want to enter, figuratively speaking, to open up the doors that you want to open up. And you will do this through communication, and you will do this with real flair, and you'll do this quite precisely as well. You'll deliver with real determination. You'll speak your truth. You'll say what's important to you, and you'll feel as if you've got the necessary equipment to do that, because your communication is so strong. I see that gust of wind keeps coming. I feel you flying. I mean, this bird would fly, it's a crow. So I feel you flying through the sky, and that could be that you're actually going on a trip as well, because I've definitely got travel here. And I've got travel in my mind as well as traveling physically, going on a journey. So you're going on a spiritual journey as well as an actual journey. So some of you will literally be traveling, and it's going to be really great, and there's lots of communication, there's lots of fun, there's lots of people, and others you are definitely on a spiritual journey where you're the student and your teacher is coming, or you're the teacher and your student is coming, because that's how this card makes me feel. And I get a real sense of 3 with this card. So 3 being important. This could be the number 3 as in the number, the key that opens the door of number 3. It could be your siblings, it could be your children, but it's number 3 and it's very strong for you. And I get a sense of real communication, and speaking your truth very precisely. There's a lot of laughter in this card as well. There's a lot of fun that you're going to have as you deliver your unique, your innate and your beautiful way of communicating. I also get some of you communicating through singing. This is a wonderful time to sing. I know that it's December, and that in itself can be, it is Christmas after all, and some people are very spiritual. So I get the sense of you understanding all that there is, but making your own mind up on which way you want to go. You don't necessarily stick to anything orthodox. You don't necessarily stick to anything alternative. You have your own way of doing things, and it's very personal to you, and people appreciate you for that. Again, I've got you working in a group, and I've got you communicating your skills really well. So there's an audience here. There is definitely an audience, and it can be an audience of any description, but there is an audience here for you, Gemini. And it's lovely that the perception of you, the way you feel about yourself, the way you present yourself is really quite beautiful. And people see that. They see that level of intelligence that you have, which is really lovely, isn't it? And then, of course, you've got, if I can just get the card, you've then got the 10 of Pentacles here, which will be going into sort of approximately into the 3rd week. 10 is always a number of completion. It's, we're coming to the end of something, or we're certainly getting to the point where we think, yes, I've mastered this. I've got this sorted now. I like the number 10 for you. It's a strong number, but it also pulls me to you realizing who you are as a person. I've got this sense of you really gathering up some momentum of yourself here, very much on a financial basis, a material basis, which is lovely, but also there's an emotional basis here as well, because I'm feeling pulled to your tummy, I'm feeling pulled to your heart, and I'm feeling pulled to your intellect. So the 3 brains, because the number 3 is really important. The 3 parts of us, the brains that we have that in our head, in our heart, and in our tummy, is where you're coming from. You've really learnt an awful lot, and 10 shows me that, and I feel that with you. I feel this sense of getting to the core of the situation, getting right into it, financially finding out that and realising that all your hard work is coming together, is paying off, and there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel. This tunnel doesn't feel like it's been a bad tunnel. It's a tunnel that you have to go through. It's a journey that you had to go on. We have to go into something through it to get out the other end, and this feels like you come out the other end, and it feels rather blissful and wishful. It feels rather universally charged as well. I've got you looking at the stars at the moment and just enjoying the beauty of them. So stargazing, constellations, and you being a constant reminder to yourself of all that you've achieved. You're very good with people, and you're very good with yourself, and you do realise your abilities. It's always nice to be told, though, isn't it, that you really are rather lovely at what you do. So well done on that. And here we have the 9 of Swords, which this picture may look slightly alarming to you, but don't let it. This, in its normal, traditional depiction or theory, would be somebody that struggles to sleep, somebody that is a little bit restless in their thoughts and their mind, And nighttime can be the worst time for them. And it could be that you do occasionally suffer with a few sleepless nights. I don't know who doesn't really. I really don't. It's some people are lucky that they sleep every night, and that whatever life throws at them, they manage to put their head on the pillow and they're out for the count. But that's not for most of us. If we have got something on our mind, then sometimes we take it to bed with us, don't we? And it wakes us up, or we wake up and it's on our mind, or we wake up in the morning and we haven't had the best of night's sleep. The covers have wore off, and our eyes are sore, and we've got a bit of a headache where we've just haven't slept well enough. But when I look at this card for you as well, yes, there's an element of sleep in it, but there's an element of dreams in this. And what I'm getting with you is your ability really strongly to interpret your dreams. I'd like you to really think about this, Gemini, because you're so smart and because you are a thinker, and there's a real intellect there, and you will be aware that this entire universe is mental in nature. It's all thoughts. I'd like you to use your powers of thought and consciousness to start writing down your dreams. If you do have a sleepless night, write down those dreams, because there'll be a message there, and it'll be just a message of asking you to not overthink things, to be in your mind when you need to be in your mind, and to release what you don't need. And that would be honestly applying to absolutely everybody, every sign and every person. We're not meant to spend too much time in our head. They're thoughts that we take and we use, but we don't harbour them, and they're not meant to stay with us all day long and all night long and then continue the next day as well. The idea is that we take what we want and we release and let go of what we don't need. So I've got you paying particular attention to detail. Again, it's quite sharp here as well. You really getting the bigger picture. And I think that the dream analysis, the journaling, the writing down, because you're so good at writing and communicating, I think there's definitely a writer amongst you people, a thought provoker, a thinker, somebody who's really articulate. So write it down. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, I'm also, just for somebody as well, I'm getting a sense of study here, and really delving deep and uncovering things. So you could be on a project where you're really getting into stuff, and it might feel like you take it to bed with you because it's on your mind. That's coming through for some of you. Going into the 4th week, here we've got, remember I talked about the number 3? Well, we've got number 3 here now, and this is the 3 of Swords. So again, the universe is mental in nature, and we're thinkers, big thinkers a lot of the time, and we do need to sometimes really break free from that. And that's what I'm getting with this 3 here, by the way. I know that it depicts, this card, a sense of sorrow, and in some cases definitely heartbreak, and it might be that there has been that. But what I do get with it as well is that, I don't know anybody who hasn't gone through some sort of breakup, and it's how you come out of it. It's how you journal through it, how you travel through it, and how you come out the other end. Do you come out completely crushed and feel as if you can never move on again, and that pain is just destroyed everything? Or do you come out with that sense of, well, it wasn't very pleasant while it was going on, but oh boy, have I learned something, so I won't be doing that again. I won't be approaching that situation, that relationship, that predicament the same way as I did before. I've learned a lot. I've learned how to get myself out of a situation. I've learned how to cut the ties and how to untangle myself if I feel trapped. I've learned that, I have the ability to stand on my own 2 feet. I have the ability to muster up the courage to speak when I need to speak, and not to feel that I can't say how I'm feeling. We should always be able to communicate when we need to communicate, whether it be in our love life, in our business, in a partnership, at work, whatever that is, whoever we're with. We have to be able to express ourselves, because life is, everything is about 2-way communication, isn't it? You've got to be able to express yourself, and you've got to be able to say what's on your mind when it's on your mind. Otherwise, that's unfair. And so this card would speak of you being able to do that in a relationship, be it romantic or business. And if there has been a heartbreak, it's over now. We always come through this, and we come through it with so many lessons that we've learned. We come through it as better people as well. because even though there's pain, there's a journey there and there's a lesson there. And whether we like it or not, and we never get a choice in this, we're going through it because that's what the universe gives us. And everything is a journey. You are here for a reason. You're not here to suffer. You're here to journey and to learn and to evolve. So take that with you during the course of this month and any other month of the year and the rest of your days, that to remember that it is a journey and you learn so much from it. 3's coming through very strongly for you. Also communication and laughter I'm getting as well, which you think, how could she say that with this? But I do. And coming to the end of the month now. Here we have the Daughter of Wands. Now, when I see this card now, I'm getting a real sense of fun. I'm getting a sense of dancing. I'm getting a sense of belly dancing. I get an Eastern promise, Turkish delight. I get all these things coming through for you. I'm getting a sense of you, you know, that laughter. I see you laughing a lot this month and actually having fun. I see you with people and I see you realising your goals and looking back at the month and saying that you've achieved an awful lot, that you've set up everything that you've done this month in terms of your work and your relationship. Just feels as if you've tied all the loose ends together, that you've sort of stapled it down, as it were. You've put the paper inside the binder. You've stapled things. It feels like you've secured things. And I've got the number 3 coming through again, and that feels very loving to me, by the way. So this could be your family, your siblings, your children. It's definitely that. It's definitely around love. And I'm getting a sense of courage and strength, fun, laughter, and a sense of I've got you, certainly some of you, this Christmas month of performing. There's a real arty feel to this of you dancing, you know, that belly dancing. I've just got you performing in front of people. And you know, earlier on in the reading, the beginning, I was saying to you that I got this sense of, what was it now, of community, of a group of people. So I really get this sense of you being around people. There's an environment where you're dancing and you're singing and you're chatting, and it just feels really beautiful. And for some of you here, I've got a sense of a mother being reunited with her daughter and a celebration, and that's really strong and beautiful. And it feels like you've, even though there was time apart, that you never really experienced that on too bad a level, that you've always had this connection, and you always will, and that's very loving. And again, I'm pulled over to the quartz here for love, so let me please give that to some of you. That feels really beautiful. So look at your month, look how interesting it is, and look at your lovely crystals and the way things are moving for you. What I did as well was I pulled an angel card. I hope that's not too shiny, and it says you found it. And when I look at this card here, you found it is exactly that. It's like you've found yourself, you've found who you are, you've found what you're looking for. You've journaled, you've joked, you've laughed, you've danced and you've sang, and you've got through this month. And I like the way he's holding a book here, and it feels as if I've written down things this month. I think you will journal. I'm very interested to know if you do that, because I'm getting quite a few of you writing. That sense of there's figure work in this, there's also journaling in this, there's dream interpretation, there's writing. There's a real sense of, there's a lot of you are very, very artistic. You know this as well. Your communication is so strong to me. I'm getting this wind through my hair, it feels like, and that feels like, I don't know how to say this, it feels like when the north wind blows, things come. It's like you're getting messages and you'll write them down, and that's what you found it feels to me. It's very spiritual, by the way. There's a lot of you that are as spiritual inspirers. It feels like that to me. So that's a beautiful card for you, and I'm glad that you've got it. You found it, just about sums it all up. How wonderful. So I'm going to pull the camera up now and just have a chat with you. And there you are. Hello. Oh, I need to look at the right part of the camera. I am actually really quite new to this. I think I've only done a few videos so far, so it would be just it would just be wonderful, if I'm honest, if you would like this video and if you would subscribe, because all of that's important, and I really want to be able to continue doing this. I love all this aspect. I'm into anything that's spiritual, crystals and all sorts of things. So do like the video and do go to Spirit in You and look at what I do. And if there's anything on there that interests you, a reading or anything else that I do, which you can have a good look round, then just click on the necessary link and you and I can talk together and work together and do whatever feels right for you. So looking at these cards, and can I just show you your lovely crystal again? I'm just fascinated by it. It just feels so right for you. It's beautiful. And as I say, I've got this big one over here, but oh, look at it. And not traditionally what I would have picked for you, but it's what I was drawn to, what I was told that I had to give you because of this. It's that lovely way that it moves and it shines and it shimmers, and you know, that's you dancing and singing and laughing and bringing joy to people with your unique personality and the way you do things, Gemini. You're very interesting, and there's so many sides to you, and it's a really lovely thing to have. It's an ability to adapt. It's an ability to be in a situation and to know what somebody needs, and an ability to be good at quite a few things. I mean, a lot of us are only good at, say, one thing, or we shine in one area, talking about shine, but you shine in quite a few. So good for you, and hey, isn't it lovely being you? So thumbs up, go to Spirit in You and see if there's anything that interests you. Have a really good December. It certainly feels like a whole lot of fun to me. I see you having such a nice time. I'll see you in January.